On this episode, we are in the wheels of the then birthday girl, Amber Kraak. She is a fantastic Dutch rider. We've had several Dutch riders before, such as Michel Bredevold, Marjolein van Kloof, and Didi de Vries. So, you know, generally speaking, they're always a good laugh, and I really enjoyed this episode. So feel free to like and subscribe to hear and see more of them. But for now, we are in the wheels of Amber Kraak. Hi and welcome. Thanks for joining me. How are you today?
Yeah, good. It's actually a special day because it's my birthday today. So you
Oh,
choose
no way.
a good day for to having this podcast.
Yeah, well, happy birthday. I had no idea. That part didn't come up
Yeah.
in my research, so sorry about that. Yeah, I shan't ask how old you are because it's improper to ask a woman, allegedly. Um, so yeah, but happy birthday. Have you got anything else planned for it other than chatting to this idiot?
Um, Now, actually, I celebrated a bit yesterday because it's the same day as my father.
Mm.
His birthday, so I celebrated a bit yesterday, and in the afternoon I do a quit the drijvende kei, and afterwards I continue to Paris because my boyfriend competes at the Olympics, and on Wednesday it's his final. So I will travel to Paris in the evening.
Wow, well, that sounds like you're going to be very busy. So yeah, thank you for devoting some of your day to this. I really appreciate it. And yeah, what sport is your boyfriend in actually? Because yeah, it's really
Rowing.
intriguing. Oh, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's
Because
where I met him. Yeah.
wow, because yeah, so obviously you started with rowing. Was that when did your love of cycling sort of come about? Was it pre-existing, or was it something you turned to, I guess?
No, actually, I had a race bike already since I was young, but I never did like any races. And at some point, I didn't like the rowing anymore. I
Hmm.
was a bit of the reserve going into the traject of the Olympics of Tokyo, and I didn't really like that place.
Mm.
And then, in beginning of 2019, I stopped with rowing, and then I joined the cycling association. And then I thought, yeah, this is great, just racing against each other on a bike. And I really love to ride my bike and also race on it.
Yeah, did you find it was difficult making that transition? Because obviously the people you're racing against, especially in the Netherlands, they've got years of experience of racing and know
Yeah,
all the sort of tactics and racecraft.
it was not really that I made the transition like, oh, now I stop
Mm.
rowing and I start cycling. It's more that I stopped rowing. I applied for a normal job, and it was more like my hobby. So it was
Mm.
not that I, in the beginning, wanted to, compete directly on the highest level. It was more just for fun,
Yeah.
and slowly you grow into it.
Yeah, of course, because your first contract was with what is now Visma Lease Bike. Yeah, how did that feel to, I guess, how did that even come about? But then how did it feel going to such a big team?
Yeah, Visma Leasebike is a Dutch team. So, within the cycling association, we had someone who worked for Visma Leasebike, and he saw me riding, and then he thought, I want to do something. Yeah, I want to say something good about you to the manager. If they are open to give you a chance, would you like that? And then I was, this is the chance I can still of my life. I can still do it. So if I get a chance, I will go for it.
Oh, awesome. And yeah, how did that kind of first year with them feel? 'Cause you're riding alongside, Mariana and, other really top class riders, and you're relatively speaking a novice going into it.
Yeah, but also a little bit like nothing to lose. Like
Hmm.
I'm just gonna try this, and if it doesn't work out, yeah, then it doesn't work out. But it's not, yeah, I didn't feel that much pressure because it's not that you already spent 10 years trying to, yeah, be part of Visma Lease a Bike. It's, yeah, in 1 year yeah, you get a chance, and I thought, yeah, I have to go 100% for it. And if it doesn't work out, then I stop. And yeah, luckily yeah, could continue.
Yeah, and it certainly worked out, and you're now obviously a FDJ Suez. Like how, yeah, what I guess what made you change team? Like why, and then why did you sign for FDJ? Instead of any of the other teams that potentially were interested in you.
Um, I had a really good feeling with FDG after talking with yeah, the manager. He has
Hmm.
a great yeah, vision where he wants to go to with his team, and yeah, big plans. And he also is really open to learn. Like, he was really interested that I come from Visma and have experience how we did things at Visma Leasebike. And yeah, for me it was really like, okay, this team has a goal, and the women team is the highest priority. Like, it's completely separated to the men's team.
Mm,
And within Visma, it's, yeah, the biggest goal is to win the Tour de France for the men.
yeah.
And it's one, really one team, and that has the advantage that you have the knowledge and everything from the men's team as well for the women team. But the women team is never the highest priority. And within
Mm,
FDG, I really had the feeling I was talking to a team who had the highest priority to win the Tour de Femme.
yeah.
And then I thought, yeah, I want to be part of that.
Yeah, of course. And like, yeah, it's a stacked team already. Like, because you've got Grace, who's just won the Olympics in the
Yeah,
time
great.
trial and won
Was
the Liège.
yeah,
Oh, you've got, I can't remember who stuck with Demi on the Vuelta.
Evita
Like,
Muji.
yes, Evita.
Yeah,
Um, she's a great climber. You've got Cecily, you've got Jade Wheel, or I've probably mispronounced her surname, but Jade, who's coming up through the ranks. You've got yourself, who's an incredible, well, in my eyes, you're an incredible powerhouse. And like, how do you actually see your riding style?
yeah, I think you're right about
Whew.
that. I really like time trials, but also stage races. But like when it's like a really long climb, it's not my. I'm not a real climber, so
Hmm,
I need some up and down, so more a classic rider. But yeah, I think my biggest love for cycling is stage races. So I really like grand tours,
hmm.
but not for the general classification myself, but more to help the team and go in breaks to try to get a stage win.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously that's a huge part of cycling is to kind of the breakaways and getting those individual victories, even if you can't do anything on GC on like the really big tours.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of GC, like I believe you did really well at Thüringen, um, at the Lotto Tour. Like, how was that experience? Because like that opening stage was kind of crazy in a way.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, Turing, it was, I felt really good. And there were a lot of attacks, and a lot of time I was in the front group with Kasia and Misha. Um, but in the end, everything came together, and it was sometimes because of a train, and sometimes because behind they were riding. But yeah, like that kind of parcours, like Thuringen, that really suits me. Like going up and down, a lot of climbing, but not, yeah, much longer than 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, because that opening stage with the train coming and yeah, kind of. because I thought that was it for everyone in terms of race being over.
Yeah.
Because it took like 5 minutes out of the group, I think. Um,
Yeah, but in the end, they
hmm,
gave us the time back that we waited, so that was good.
yeah,
Uh,
that's something at least.
yeah, but still, like we were away with a group of five, and it would have been nice to get some time in GC with that group, and that
Hmm,
was not the case.
yeah,
So
of course. Yeah,
that's a bit pity, but that's also cycling. Like you have so many circumstances, and you have to adjust to it.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those crazy sports that like because I was thinking about it, obviously with the Olympics being on, like swimming, it's just yourself, and like you can't get like punctures in swimming. Like you kind of it's partly about your own athletic ability, but there is still
Yeah,
technical
there's no
defects.
room for bad luck.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
exactly.
Puck Pieterse, who had a flat tire and lost
Mm,
the silver medal. Yeah, that's really shit.
yeah, yeah, that's certainly one way of describing it. So yeah, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but your ride at Roubaix was really like outstanding in terms of yeah, I guess making me a fan of yours. Um,
Thank you.
like yeah, were you the leader for that day, or was it kind of on the fly decisions being made just as needed?
Um, no, it was actually I didn't started Paris-Roubaix ever before, and I was not really super happy when the team said uh, you're on the start list for Roubaix, and yeah, are you okay with that? And then I was like, yeah, it's not my first choice. But then I want to do some good reckons, and I also felt like the riders who are good in Roubaix are a bit my type of
Hmm,
rider. So I also thought, okay, maybe for this year it's then more like experience. But I think in some years, like everyone know already did a couple of times this race. For me, it will be the first time, but then it will be also experience for the years who come after.
yeah.
So the idea was more that Grace was our leader, um, but we yeah didn't say like okay we go with the six full for Grace. Like some will wait when she has a problem, and others are there in the final to help. And for me, it was the role to be there in the final to help Grace. But
Hmm,
Grace had some bad luck earlier in the race, and she had the flat tire, but she never came, really back to the front of the race. So at that point, you have to adjust the plan. And I think in the last part of the race, I attacked and was away with Ellen van Dijk, and that was then our plan B.
hmm.
And in the end, I think it was one of my best races of the season.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously that group was high class, obviously.
Yeah,
You had Mariana, your former teammate, you had Lotte, the world champion, Pfeiffer, the British champion, I want to say Elisa Balsamore,
yeah,
who's a former world champion, Ellen van Dijk, who's a world time trial champion before, and yourself. Like, what's going through your mind when you're in that group? Do you look at them and go, "Oh yeah, we've got the right mix here. This is staying away. I can contribute," or these are all great hitters. I can't contribute because they'll eat me in the sprint anyway. Like, how do you play it? What's going through your head?
yeah. I wanted um, a bit this group to stay away and trying to think, okay, what is a good place where I can attack? Because in the sprint on the track, uh, I was actually quite scared the day before. Okay, what happened when you enter the track? Because I never did. I've never been on the track, like in the indoor track on the TT bike, but not like on the road bike,
Hmm.
really on the track. Um, but in the end, I think I could have played it a bit smarter. I could have, yeah, gambled a bit more for the group behind to come back because we had some riders in there. Um, and there was not the best places anymore to attack, and they were so fast on the wheel. So it was really hard in the final to go for a podium spot.
Yeah, definitely. Has that changed how you view Roubaix now? Like now you've got that experience, are you like, oh yeah, this is now going to become a goal of mine to win in future years, or get a result in future years, or is it just, oh yeah, I've got that experience now, I can
Yeah, I
ride it
think
well.
within cycling, uh, yeah, especially in Roubaix, you need some luck. So it's
Mhm.
not that I next year will put everything on Paris Roubaix, but I will, definitely ask the team if I can start again and try to go for a good result. But I will, yeah, in more classics, try to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of good results, the UAE tour was something that really stuck out to me as well. You got away in that breakaway, and I want to say you were with Monica Greenwood, if
Hmm.
I'm correct.
Yeah.
Um, and you held off for Peloton in quite breathtaking fashion. Um, at any point, were you like, "Oh yeah, I've definitely got this," or even, "Oh, like we're gonna get caught. I'm just here to see how far I can get." Like, yeah, I guess what's going through your mind in that
Mhm.
situation?
We had first in the UAE two flat stages where actually nothing really happened. There was not a lot of wind. There were not a lot of echelons, and it was more like waiting on day three where we had the big climb.
Hmm.
And actually, my goal was to try to go quite hard on the big climb. But in the
Okay.
end, I think I was a bit dehydrated, or I don't know exactly what was wrong, but I had no power at all. So on day four, I was like a bit shit. I've been all the way to UAE and I did 3 days nothing. Like,
Mm.
and then we thought, okay, today we just go for the attack. Probably it will be a sprint, but we gonna go full gas for the attack. So our team started, and then at some point I saw that there were three away, and I thought, yeah, but if the peloton let this go, then it was already after 10K, then the fun is over. So I will just jump and probably I will close the gap. Then we can continue in at least racing instead of waiting another day for a sprint.
Hmm.
But in the end, they let me go to that group, and it was a bit of raining. So my first thought was, at least I'm safe here, and it at least I can ride a bit my bike instead of just waiting for the finish.
Yeah.
But I tried to motivate the group, and at some point I was like, yeah, but um, I heard only two of SD Works were chasing. And I think with 30K to go, I was like, yeah, but maybe if we go really, if only two are chasing, we are with four, we have a chance.
Mm. Yeah, I guess
And
numbers wise, two
yeah,
versus four is easy.
and I think with 10K to go, I started really believing like, yeah, I am the strongest of this group. Uh, I maybe can win this one.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
my plan was actually to, I thought we need everyone as long as possible. But when the others were like starting to skip turns and, um, yeah, not going full gas anymore, I thought I have to get rid of them as soon as possible and go full gas on my own.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, like going into that, passing the Flamme Rouge, were you still like, I could get caught here at any minute? Like, did you feel that the peloton was right on your shoulder, or
Yeah,
were you
because I
like,
heard my teammates in the radio, and then I knew, okay, they see me.
"Mhm,
So they're so close behind. And yeah, with Lotte Kopecky and Lorena Wiemens doing the last lead out and the sprint, they can get 20 seconds in the last kilometer. So I thought yeah, really had to go full gas to the finish line.
Wow. And like, did you allow yourself any point to sort of celebrate, or was it just, you know, I guess yeah, like what does it feel like crossing that line knowing you've won? Um,
Um, yeah, it's a weird feeling. Like it was my first win on world tour level. But I was so exhausted after the finish line. I didn't even put my hands in the air. I first crossed the finish line, and yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
oh, that's awesome. Um, so yeah, like the only other thing I've got to ask is like, what are your kind of future plans? Um, obviously for the rest of the season, but as well as going into next season and your goals for next year.
Um, I just spent 3 weeks on the mountain to prepare for the Tour de France, and
Hmm.
like I said, GC is not my personal goal, but it's a goal for the team. So I will be there to help the team for our two leaders, Evita Muzic and Cecile Utrecht-Ludwig. And but we also want, yeah, not only that, we also want to go for breaks to, yeah, to help the GC leader later, or to go for a stage win if the break stays away.
Hmm.
So yeah, multiple goals in the tour. And after the tour, I will start Plouay.
Okay.
And, I have some good experience in Plouay from 2021, and yeah, Plouay is kind of a goal for myself to yeah, do there one of my best races again.
Hmm.
And after the season, there's not much left. I don't know exactly the planning yet, but maybe Romandie. I hope to be selected for the Europeans or the Worlds.
Mm.
But in Holland, we have a lot of riders, so
Like being selected, I would argue, is harder than winning the worlds. Like,
nah, maybe not that. But yeah, it's kind of a goal for me to try to make it to the national team.
mm,
But there I will be having a supported role for sure.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a bit. We don't start the CIMAC Ladies Tour, so I think I will end with Chrono de Nation,
Okay.
and then enjoy some well-deserved rest to get ready for the next season.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, it depends a bit on the team composition. It's like this year there will be a lot of shuffling. So
Yeah. There's been a lot of rumor and
yeah,
innuendo about who's going to be where next year. Like, I guess as a bonus question, like, do you pay attention to the rumors? Do you hear, like, do you know how, I guess, like, how true they are as a rider? Do you go, oh, yeah, I know that's definitely happening? Or do you just kind of go, I'm not sure that's gonna go
I,
down?
I think it's interesting, and I like to hear the rumors, and but it doesn't really, yeah, scare me off. I So far what I've heard, I, yeah, would really enjoy the team composition next year, but it for sure will depend the goals uh, we will have.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, for myself, I would like to do a good classic season with Dwars door Vlaanderen, Ronde van Vlaanderen, Brabantse Pijl, Amstel Gold, Paris-Roubaix. But for sure, it depends on yeah, the goals of other riders in the team.
yeah, that's for sure. And I guess that's where cycling is kind of part sport, part politics. Although
Yeah,
I always argue that sport always is political, but that's a whole other can of worms to open. Um, but yeah, it's all about, I guess, good management is keeping everyone happy as much as you can, and that's not easy. Um, someone's going to be upset at some point. So yeah, how can people kind of follow you with regards to like social media and seeing what you're up to?
I'm not really a social media person. So sometimes I post something on Instagram, but not really regular. I try to, sometimes do it a bit more during races. Um, but that's the way people can follow me.
Awesome. Well, just whilst you were speaking, there will have been an infographic showing your Instagram so people can find you. And yeah, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having this nice chat.
Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. And until next time, we'll see you around.